Okay, we should be live now. What's up, ladies and gents? Matthew Bellman, Ryan Kostrowski here at DFS 5-Pack. I know this is the baseball video, but I want to take this chance to publicly congratulate Paul George on an amazing game last night. I've been very hard on that player, and he was awesome and fantastic last night. I can't take anything negative out of that performance. He was wonderful.
Yeah, it's glad to finally see you give him credit. Big win for him. Big win for the Clippers for sure.
Yeah, he was good from beginning to end. Yeah, there were no holes in that game last night.
Yes, sir.
And I underplayed the Donovan Mitchell ankle injury. That, like, you could tell that was for real. So just another area where, man, our injuries just influences NBA playoff run.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. That's not to be understated at all.
Yeah, it's disappointing. So we'll see what happens with CP3 and whatnot. But we got a lot of basketball to talk about. But we're here to talk baseball today. My bad on changing the subject a little bit, but there is no basketball show today, so I had to at least bring that up. Again, brought to you by our boys over at Drafters. Guys, join the Facebook group below. I've said it before. I'll say it again. This website's awesome. Come play with us.
Yeah, hoping we get one this afternoon.
Monthly, weekly memberships available through the website. Subscribe to the station if you're new to it. So let's start talking pitching, guys. And we'll start with this one. Like, sometimes we'll take the low-hanging fruit, like DeGrom yesterday. Even leaving injured, he was still pretty good. This one's a little riskier, but that's okay. Sometimes you want to take, you want to risk the. I can't talk today. We are okay with the calculated risk on this one because, one, we don't love the chalk pitchers today. Like, we don't think they're bad plays, but we don't love them. But what you get with Marquez here, one, like, the salary is so low. And I know Coors Field is scary, but he's been better at home this year. And I think many seasons throughout his career, he's been better at home. My Brewers have really slumped the last couple of days. Good strikeout upside here. Yeah, and he was god-awful the other day. I mean, just atrocious. But that doesn't necessarily have an influence on today. So just look past it. He was fantastic the four starts before that.
Yeah, he was really good before that. He's had a couple hiccups, but that's not unlike a lot of pitchers, right? Back to his, the comfort of his home ballpark. You could say that kind of with his Coors. Still, he's at Coors. He's coming off a couple of really good starts there. Gets a Brewers lineup that's far from spectacular, and he's priced like he's a gas can. So he's far from that. He's got real 25 upside if he's pitching well. 5.5, you'll take that all day.
Yeah, he's so cheap, and he has a good opportunity to outscore a bunch of those more popular pitchers in like the 7-9K range. So this gets you higher end bats, and DraftKings has been starting to price up the bats finally. So sometimes getting his salary can be a big help.
For sure.
All right, next up, speaking of not, salary help right here, check out Abraham Almonte for cash games today. So he's only 2,200, which is going to be a big influence of why he's wildly in play. We were talking about Gant. We've talked about Gant a lot this season. This is a guy with like good movement on the ball. Has not given up a lot of hits this year. He walks too many guys, but just does not give up a lot of hard contact. Well, that's changed the last two starts. He's been getting crushed. And again, we don't know that there's correlation with all the stuff going on with MLB right now, but it's fishy enough that makes you a little bit more interested in some of the Atlanta guys. This guy's got 45 DK points over his past four starts, but the key number here is 2,200.
Yeah, 2,200 hit cleanup last night. I mean, might be right back there again today. Not a great hitter, but he's hitting well right now. Man, John Gant walks a lot of guys. Atlanta isn't afraid to steal a base or two. All of a sudden, if he walks and steals the base in the first inning, I mean, he's already at value. So a lot to like at that price tag. I get it.
Yeah, this one's all about the price and the guy who's going to be relatively popular. So a guy who won't be popular is your GPP catcher and the cover boy for the day. Probably you might roster or recommend at least rostering this guy more than anybody in the industry, but you've also had good success with that. I know you've called out a couple of his double home run days. He's a streaky hitter, and now he's got back-to-back games with a home run.
He's one of these guys. We talk about like Rhys Hoskins a lot, came up like gangbusters, lit the world on fire. Sanchez is another guy like that, if you think about it.
For sure. I mean, that run that he went on when he first came up, didn't he have, I think it was like 26 home runs in like 52 games or something? It was just epic.
Yeah, epic. And like he's definitely like they've wanted that. I feel like that's carried him a lot of like why he's been able to maintain on the Yankees for so long, even though he hasn't been good, because they know that the hot streak's in there and he's starting to show it right now. Home runs in 3-4. back-to-back games with a homer, pinch hit home run last night. And these aren't like, balls that are scraping over the wall. These are absolute bombs. He looks locked in right now. He looks like he's seeing the ball really well. Not going to be surprised to see him like in the, he's usually in the middle of the lineup, but he could be hitting like cleanup today. I'm excited to see where he's going to be hitting. I like him a lot. He's one of my favorite hitters on the slate. Always weaker catcher position.
And the ballpark in Toronto is tiny, so you can hit a wall scraper without getting a hold of it. Like you said, his last couple haven't been wall scrapers, but I'll always take that wall scraping home run into my back pocket as a nice little increased possibility for success.
I don't care how I hit him. I just want him.
All right, so let's talk Justin Upton. This is a little bit more about the Angels from a discussion point overall. So Detroit's calling up a young man tonight who is one of their better pitching prospects, but is really struggling so far this year. He's got an 8+ ERA at AAA this year, so things have not gone swimmingly for him. So right away, you have to have some interest in the Angels. Well, the problem with the Angels is you got no Ohtani tonight because he's pitching. So, yeah, he'll be hitting, but you can't use him. Mike Trout's been on the IL for a while now. Rendon is good chance he's not in the lineup. So they're missing some of their better hitters in the stack. Well, what are you left with? Well, the Justin Upton, who's been playing some of his better baseball recently at only 4,300, likely right back in the leadoff spot tonight. So I would say this is my favorite of the Angels play. I like the idea of the Angels. The problem is the back half of their lineup is a bunch of no-name, not very good players.
It's definitely an issue right now, and you mentioned it. Ohtani's pitching. He'll be in the lineup, but you won't be able to use him on DK. Probably no Rendon. Already missing Mike Trout. It's almost like the Dodgers, but the Dodgers really have good hitters behind those guys. The Angels really don't. Upton's one of is their best guy, when you can't use the others. He looks good right now, not striking out. It's cooled off a little bit, but still very affordable. The Angels are in a really good spot, so getting some exposure here is not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, maybe Chili Davis and Troy Glaus will come off the bench tonight.
Probably not.
Just a little old school players for some of you younger guys out there that may not remember. Troy Glaus was on the Angels team that made the World Series and beat Barry Bonds' Giants. And then Chili Davis, you're going to have to hop into the way back machine for that one.
Well, yeah, but he was actually the hitting coach of, I think the Mets that just got fired recently.
Oof. Well, so maybe he's got a new spot then. Anyways, let's move back over to Coors Field, but let's talk about the offensive side of things. So you and I both kind of aptly predicted that Trevor Story would have some struggles this year, and he did for most of the year. Not lately. The last few games, he's looked really good at the plate, coming off back-to-back games with double walks, which, again, he may have never done that in his career before. This is a guy who doesn't walk, so he's seeing the ball well right now. And while there's no guarantee to know this happens, you've been suspect of Woodruff's increased spin rate over the last couple of years and wondering, with all the weirdness of MLB right now, is this a guy due for regression?
Yeah, and beyond that, we both respect Woodruff. He's the best pitcher on the slate. There's no doubt about that. I really like the cut of his jib. So even if you don't want to stack the Rockies right now, we've seen a bunch of aces get hit around recently, get hurt. Shane Bieber's out for a couple months. Glasnow's going to be out for the year. We've seen Bauer really struggle. So I don't think
DeGrom's left 2 starts in a row.
Well, he's left. Yeah, DeGrom's a different case though, because when he's out there, he's just dominant. That's just crazy what's going on with him. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Woodruff, but it's not out of the realm that he regresses a little bit. But either way, as a one-off, we've talked about Story for years, and while he's not in a great spot this year with the Rockies lineup not being amazing, he's still really, really good himself, and he runs. He's shown that he's going to run when he gets on base. He's got big power. He's walked twice in each of the past 2 games. Again, even if you don't want to stack Colorado, I like Story a lot here.
He's not as good as Tatis and Acuna and those guys, but he does own the same upside on any given day because he also has elite power and the ability to steal base and is very assertive when he gets on the base pass. So no, he's not Fernando Tatis Jr., but on any given day, his upside is similar to the best players in baseball.
Amen.
All right, guys, that's what we got for today. Wish everybody the best of luck, and we'll see you a little bit later for some sports battle and then back at normal stuff again tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.